Brought to you by Penguin.
Penguin Random House Audio presents The Prisoner's Wife by Maggie Brookes. Read for you by Alicia, Suszka Fielder and David John.
In memory of Alfred Arthur Brooks and all the other prisoners of war who endured so much in the hope it would never happen again. And for Katie, Amy and Tim. All love. It happened. Therefore it can happen again. This is the core of what we have to say. Primo Levi. Historical note. This incredible story was related by Lance Corporal Sidney Reed, who was a prisoner of the Nazis during the Second World War at Lambsdorff, Stalag 8B 344 in Poland, and at the labour camp E166 at Salbsdorf Quarry, Czechoslovakia. During the war, Poland and Czechoslovakia were under the control of Hitler's Third Reich. By 1944, when this story begins, the Nazis had established huge prisoner-of-war camps at the eastern reaches of Czechoslovakia and Poland, in order to keep the captured Allies as far as possible from home. It's estimated that they'd taken almost 200,000 British prisoners. The officers were held in POW camps, but the 1929 Geneva Convention allowed the lower ranks to be deployed into labour camps, known as Arbeitskommando. Lambsdorff POW camp alone could hold 13,000 British prisoners, but also sent 12,000 men to labour camps to build roads and work in the mines, in factories, and on the land. This story starts in the Czech region of Silesia, which had been part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire until 1918. Many of the people who lived there were German-speaking and welcomed the Nazi annexation of their lands. However, in March 1939, Hitler rode into Prague, declaring the rest of Czechoslovakia a protectorate of the Third Reich, and the entire country began life under the Nazis. By 1944, Czech resistance was becoming strong. The names of many places have changed since 1944. This novel uses a mix of modern and wartime names. For more information about this, see the author's note at the end of the book.
Prologue. Everything was quiet and still, apart from the light crunch of our boots as we crept down the deserted street. The sliver of moon disappeared behind a cloud, and we slowed our pace, barely able to make out the way ahead. That was when we heard the dogs. Only one bark at first, carrying in the quiet of the night. We clutched each other's hands and stood still for a moment. Then another bark, and another, not muffled by the walls of a building, but out in the night like us, out in the streets. Instinctively we moved away from the sound, and the buildings glowered at us, closing in. My heart was drumming and my breath came fast. We walked more quickly. The dogs were barking closer, echoing off the buildings. Perhaps 2 of them, perhaps 3. We turned to see if they were in sight, but the darkness was too absolute. We were acutely aware of the noise of our boots on the cobbled road. And then there were shouts behind us, men's voices excited to have something to do in the boredom of the night watch, egging on the dogs, eager for the hunt. Whichever way we turned, the dogs and the men grew closer, and our boots clanged louder. It became a town of sounds, our breath, the pounding of our own blood in our ears, the clatter of our boots on the road, the dogs barking, men running and calling, closer, closer. Perhaps we could have stopped, knocked on a door and begged for help, but we didn't. We just kept going, faster and faster, running, Bo dragging me with him. I was breathless to keep up, my kit bag banging awkwardly against my legs. At last there was an opening in the terrace, an archway leading...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?